sa'yo. So, yung hugot ko talaga dun sa initiatives is talagang to give a platform and to give opportunities sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs, sa mga devs na madinig sila. So, yun
Yeah.
yung ano natin, yun yung talagang reason bakit talagang I took the initiative to join yung mga ganitong klaseng ganap natin. So, nandyan na yan, yung reason bakit may ERC20, yung reason bakit may liquidity. Ito yung magic word dyan. Kasi, the moment na lumabas yun, nagsimula yung tinatawag nating DeFi o yung decentralized finance.
Welcome to our EduTech Insider. And right now, we would like to invite you to watch this special episode that we have. We have a very special friend as well as, guest right now. See Mr. Eliezer. Hi, Eliezer.
Hey
How are you?
guys! Hey Sir Florence, maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa inyong show, no? So, yun nga, my name is Eliezer Rabadon, the CEO and co-founder of Divicode Technologies Incorporated and the tech lead of ICP Hub Philippines.
Busy ba for this past few days? And
Ah,
what do you do bilang isang CEO?
buhay pa naman, unang-una. At saka, ayun, syempre, mga meetings din and then trying to close some partnerships, the
Mhm.
usual things, no, na talagang makapag-push tayo ng mga initiatives and to, syempre, finally launch the projects that we have na. So, yeah, talagang as usual. Then, syempre, sa usapang ICP Hub Philippines din naman yun, tuloy-tuloy ang mga workshops, yung mga pagtuturo natin sa mga students sa colleges and universities. So yeah, busy
Wow.
month.
Yeah, really busy man. Okay, bro, how did you start with that? How did you involve in ICP or in this Web3?
So sa usapang involvement in terms of Web3 per se, una kong na experience si Bitcoin nung panahong nasa ano pa, 7-Eleven and then
Kasikatan pa ng web, ano yan,
oo,
talagang kauna-una ng Bitcoin.
yeah, yung cash in cash out sa 7-Eleven that time, no, kung
I
okay lang
see.
banggit ng word. And then merong exchange na, Philippine Exchange that time na yun yung gamit na
Anong
mag-cash
year
in cash
yan?
out. Yung coins
Mga
at PH. Yeah, 2016.
2016.
Yeah, 2016. And then fast forward ng 2017, na-involve ako dun sa corporate job na nakuha ko sa Pasig. So it's an IT solutions company na nagpo-push ng mga possible proof of concepts na merong blockchain related. So wala pa yung word na Web3 that time, no? More on
Okay.
blockchain space pa that time, no?
Mhm.
So naging research and development head ako na yun yung pinaka tinatry naming tingnan na paano nga natin may utilize yung technology na
Pero ano yan?
uh,
Regular
implement.
employment during that time.
Yes,
Mhm.
that time, no. And then, ayun na. So, fast forward nitong pumutok yung Axie. And
Okay.
then, nakita ko namin na, ayun, dahil nasa gaming background din ako, so yung parang
Oh.
how we do yung economy ng game, nakita namin yung possibility na, uy, pwede ito may utilize sa mga possible projects na pwede natin magawa, let it be game or mga projects na for the people, no? Yun, that's why we established yung company na DVCode Technologies Incorporated. And then, kasagsagan ng mga networking events sa Manila, yun, at I was able to meet Sir Nelson noong 2022 sa ayun na by 2023 na onboard naman niya ako as tech lead ng ICP Hub Philippines kasi we've been doing some collaborations na kahit wala pa ako sa ICP din, gumagawa-gawa kami ng mga collaborations and events, networking
Mhm.
sa Manila. And then yun, from that we push through with the initiatives na ng ICP dito sa Pilipinas. So we've been into Luzon, Visayas and Mindanao na
Wow.
nagpo-push ng mga workshops and then hackathons, no? So may
Okay.
mga ilan na rin tayong mga successful stories na mga companies na startups, mga entrepreneurs, no?
Mga
Na
students din to, ah? Or
yung
mga
iba is
professionals?
students, yung iba is young professionals. So mixed kasi
Ah,
we're doing community initiatives and then we're also doing academe initiatives.
grabe, no? So, talagang busy and at the same time, you are not only doing this for your own business, but you're doing this para sa community.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, may hugot ako dyan, sir, eh.
Ano yun? Sige nga.
Oo, kasi well, kung mapansin natin, no, bihira sa mga developers na yung parang marunong mag-convey ng mensahe nila.
Correct.
Mostly mga geeks yung mga devs, no? Ako naman ayun, blessed doon sa side na yun na I know how to talk, how to speak publicly kasi dating SK chairman. So,
Wow.
and ayun nga, ako rin isang programmer, so smart contract developer and gumagawa din ng mga applications way before Web3 pa no, or blockchain.
Hmm.
So, nakita ko yung yung struggle na kung ikaw ay entrepreneur o kung ikaw ay programmer and then gusto mong gumawa ng project,
Hmm.
ang hirap makasurvive dito sa Pilipinas. Yun
So,
nga, parang kumbaga, meron kang next big thing, pero you don't know how to sustain kasi wala kang malapitan, wala kang spotlight na maibibigay sa'yo. So, yung hugot ko talaga dun sa initiatives is talagang to give a platform and to give opportunities sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs, sa mga devs, na madinig sila. So,
grabe.
yun yung ano natin, yun yung talagang reason bakit talagang I took the initiative to join yung mga ganitong klaseng ganap natin.
Sobrang nakaka-relate. Totoo yan, sir, no? Actually, I think that's one of the problems that we're facing here. There are lots of Filipinos who are very creative, and I think many are achievers, and they really do have their dreams to be someday they have their own business as well. Pero especially yung mga young kids nowadays, they're thinking of not going into employment but creating their own businesses on top of probably any technology na meron tayo ngayon. The problem is they tend to forget their dreams kasi walang sumusuport in terms
Yeah,
of funding. Well, it's not about funding lang ang problem, but the problem there is that kapag walang funding, namamatay kasi yung kanilang dreams dahil they need to look for a job,
yep,
right? And
tama.
to support their families. And syempre, kapag nagtrabaho ka, ang hirap naman pagsabayan. You do your business full time, and then you have your full time job as well. Very quite difficult. It's quite different from other countries, especially the first world, no, not really first world, but the developed countries already. Na parang meron silang culture doon na whether the idea is not that very creative, basta you want to start the business, funding is there for you. Right?
Yeah, kumbaga ang missing sa atin talaga is yung support system ng ecosystem na although yun nga meron naman mga TBIs, merong mga possible na incubators
Mhm.
pero still the problem is yun nga the developers actually has no idea how to reach out those kind of networks. That's why yun we're really trying to advocate yung collaborations
Mhm.
na pwede natin magawa. Kaya ayan, madami mga naging partners din si ICP Hub PH na
Yes,
mga ganong klasing component na hopefully yun nga makascade and mas makaspark tayo nung ano no nung yung hiramin ko yung word ni Sir Nelson yung diamonds in the dust no na
diamonds in the
hindi
dust.
hindi natin may expect na meron palang magagaling doon pero the moment na reach out natin sila mapagbigyan ng pagkakataon din it's really a big achievement for us din.
That's true. In fact, 'di ba, the usual thing that happening not only in the other countries but also in the Philippines, probably mostly in the Philippines na ang nabibigyan lang ng big chances to be financed, to be funded, and to be exposed, mabigyan ng mga exposures are those already who belong to a elite group, right? They have the power already, they have the money, they have all the education. And just like you said, yung mga diamonds on the dust, hindi masyadong na ano na bibigyan ng chances and opportunities. The good thing with you and the rest of the ICT Philippines is that you're the one who is reaching out. Kayo yung nag-a-adjust, kayo yung pumupunta, and probably kasi sa dami ng or hindi naman marami pero usually mayroon ding nagbibigay ng opportunities sa mga startups pero may mga requirements. At yung mga requirements na yon, most of the time hindi pa may provide ng mga startups, especially
Yep, yep.
they should be operating for 1 to 2 years already with specific income. Startup tong pinag-uusapan, right?
Yeah.
So unlike with your program, it's quite different na it's really from zero. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. So paano yon? Hindi ba usually risky yan? Kaya ginagawa rin siguro ng iba na, okay, dapat meron ka ng patunay that you are already operating, meron kayong mga SEC documents, pero sa inyo talagang from zero. These are people who have no knowledge, zero knowledge. Paano nyo na minimize yung inyong risk na mababaliwala lang yung trabaho dahil yung iba rito a-attend not for for the improvement or progress of their dreams or business.
Yeah. So far no, yung mga talagang uma-attend sa atin
Mm.
is yun nga, nag-resonate din naman yung message sa kanila na hopefully they take this kind of opportunities na talagang maging catapult nila no sa success. And yun nga, nakakatuwa na etong mga natulungan naman natin is talagang yung mga iba tinutuloy-tuloy nila kahit way after nung hackathon na no, na which is yung iba is tatry with come up with collaborations na with government agencies na yung kumbaga yung credentials nila is yun nga nanalo sila sa hackathon natin no. So how we minimize yung risk actually, ito yung siguro maninibago
Mm.
yung mga nasa current ano natin no, current perspective and point of view. Kasi sa Web3 actually is just it's really trying to help no, na dito yung si ICP Hub Philippines meron siyang yung mga hackathons natin, it's actually funded by Definitive Foundation, which is
Mhm.
yung sa global, and then
Uh-huh.
yung counterpart dito sa local ICP Hub Philippines. Those initiatives are talagang ano no, zero in terms of yung sabihin na nating kung may pangil ba yan after yung nalimot yung pinaka word pero it's not actually expecting ng equity. So
Okay.
hindi zero equity funding itong mga to. So talagang it's literal na pamigay. And
Parang
magtataka
yung
tayo bakit? No,
oo,
magtataka
kasi
kung
marami,
bakit. Like,
'di ba?
ba't kayo ibigay ng ganitong pera? Mm.
Yung mga predator yung pag sinabing predator kasi yes, tutulungan ka, bibigyan ka ng mga education about business, something like that, tapos bibigyan ka ng funding, pero maliit lang yung funding, pero malaki yung hinihinging equity. So like almost 80%,
Yeah,
70%
yeah, yeah.
your company, right?
Yeah, so eto yung ibinibigay ng ICP Hub Philippines lalo dito sa mga nagdaang hackathons no. I think nakawalo kami mula nung 2024 na all throughout the year. Lahat yun zero equity no. Walang
Wow.
hinihinging kapalit. Ang
Grabe.
kagustuhan lang eto no. Tingin ko it's very common sa mga gusto mag-spark, mga blockchain networks no, kasama si ICP doon, very common na they are just simply asking the developers to build projects on top of the technology na nagawa nila. And then kapag nakagawa ka ng sustainable business, dun kasi sila magkakaroon ng in return eh. na kapag dumami yung user mo, dumami yung gumagamit ng blockchain network mo, meaning to say,
Yeah.
lalaki yung ecosystem nyo. So
Mm.
in terms of fees, yung mga kung ano mang on top of it, dun nagbebet no yung mga blockchain networks na kapag dumami yung gumagamit ng blockchain nila, dadami yung infused capital and yung syempre yung mga pera ng mga end users is magfa-funnel through doon sa blockchain nila. So talagang it's a free opportunity
Wow.
para sa lahat na we just need to understand bakit talaga nila ginagawa yon. Ang gusto talaga nilang mangyari is magkaroon ng user adoption, magkaroon ng technology adoption. That's why they are betting. Siguro ang isa sa ano diyan no, ang isa sa makikita nating parang the same route halos na nagawa is the way how Cisco did it in the past. If you remember sir na kung dati yung CCNA 'di ba halos
Yeah,
close to free, 'di ba yung mga seminars. Pero
correct.
dumating yung panahon na lagay sa curriculum and then nagkaroon na ng mga careers na napupuntahan yung mga
Correct.
CCNA passers, 'di ba?
Mm.
That's the same way na nangyayari pero sa usapang blockchain nga lang. So
Okay.
talagang it's giving free education kasi nga mas generous is mas malaki yung mga funding na nangyayari sa side ng blockchain kaya nagagawa nila na mag-sponsor o mag-organize ng mga ganitong klaseng initiatives no na talagang as a Filipino hopefully natin ma-take advantage
Advantage.
natin na magawa nating paraan talaga to na maging stage 1 natin sa pagiging entrepreneurs. So, yeah, yun yung nabibigay na opportunity nitong Web3 sa atin as mga aspiring entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so guys, sa mga nanonood ngayon, hindi na problema kung paano ka mag-start. All you have to do is just deploy an application wherein, especially those people who are in IT, who are already in programming, marami dito gumagawa ng mga projects, but they just kept their projects on their own and sa kanilang mga folders. They don't even know how to start it. All you have to do is just deploy it on the ICP technology, and no worries, because I think you also, aside from funding, you also have this um incubation, right? So
Yep,
ano
yep.
yung meron doon sa incubation?
Yeah, so doon sa incubation, no, the plan talaga is magkaroon nga ng collaborations doon sa mga, say for example, mga mentors na maka-collaborate natin. And then from that, kung gusto nilang matuto doon sa mga mentors na yun, then they can reach out, no. Actually, meron tayong Discord server na ginawa para dito,
Okay.
yung IC Builders Discord server, na kung saan yung mga code camp participants, yung mga hackathon participants, pwede silang magtanong doon and then they can also tag yung mga mentors na available para magkaroon talaga ng say for example one-to-one session
Mhm.
or kaya kung merong available na workshops na pwede nating maituro sa kanila kung paano pa sila mag-build further. So that's what we're doing.
Wow. Okay. So far, you mentioned you have eight groups na ba? Who are
8 hackathons. Yeah.
8 hackathons. And as of the moment, where are they right now? What is happening in their business? And at the same time, what's the level ng support ni ICT sa kanila?
Yeah, siguro ang tingin kong best na may emphasize ko at the moment no is sina Ways to Earn sa Davao City. Kasi
Wait,
sila
wait,
yung
waste.
Ways to Earn.
So
Yes.
waste as in
Literal
garbage.
garbage. Yes.
Yeah.
Oo. So there talagang environment yung focus no and then they're trying to put yung narrative kumbaga nga na may pera sa basura. So,
Okay.
yeah, yung recycling, oo, yung ecosystem nila doon sa sa Davao, they are sparking collaboration. As far as I know, no, hindi ko pa alam yung buong grasp pero they are really heavy and supported din ng local government doon yung initiatives nila. And pagkakaalala ko meron netong last month lang din nagkaroon din sila ng workshop yung Ways to Earn team yung Rare Daw and NFT Davao na mag-conduct ng blockchain education sa IT yung department ng ng local government. So
Okay.
yon sila. And then yung next is yung dito naman sa sa Luzon area is si AgriControl Plus na which is ang
Oh,
solve naman nila is agriculture, palay, ganito ganyan na ayun nga ang pinaka goal din nila as far as I know may kausap lang sila. Hindi ko pa alam kung pwedeng pangalanan yung agency pero meron ng pirmahan na on the way no na gamitin din yung system nila na yun nga built on top of ICP. So yun yung dalawa na gusto kong ma-emphasize ngayon kasi sila yung talagang bida na super worthy na mabanggit natin.
yeah. I actually met people behind the AgriControl Plus. Uh,
Cool!
one
So
of my
yun.
one of the seminars that I conducted in it seems like an a TBI, Technology Business Incubation.
Yes.
In one institution like PUP. So they are all they join there just to get ideas on how to build more their business. And yeah, I saw their potential, and I believe that they can go farther because of that technology. So medyo marami-rami na at malaki-laki na yung nako-contribute ng ICP na sa mga lalo na kabataan kasi these young kids are not yet professionals. Many of them are not yet professionals. And yet some of them are not yet even a graduating, no? Mga third year or second year
Yes.
college students, and yet their idea is already someone who is like in a professional or in a workplace. So now my question there is that right after this, what else they san ba sila usually pupunta right after that? Are they gonna somehow do their own thing, or are they gonna do as well the so-called pay it forward system wherein once sila naman ay nasa taas na, they will also be required na tumulong using the ICT technology rin ba? How does it happen?
Actually, sir, ganito siya, no? Ayun nga. Yun din naman yung kagandahan. Buti din na na-meet nyo mismo din ang ang Team Agri-Control Plus. Kasi, yun nga, the mindset that we're really sharing, no, is the power of collaboration. Na,
Mm-hmm.
yun nga, like I said, yung hugot ko talaga, no, is yung mabigyan natin ng pagkakataon at spotlight yung mga kapwa developers and eto mga aspiring na entrepreneurs na mga bata pa na magkaroon talagang makita nila na uy, merong way to move forward dito na career na hindi nila kailangang sabayan at makipag-agawan sa alam nating oversaturated IT industry natin ngayon, no? Kasi
Correct.
talagang sa side ng industry, it's all about collaborations, what can we do with each other, what value can we provide,
Really nice.
what's in it for you, what's in it for us, what's in it for the community. Ganun yung laging narrative na yes, hindi naman siya shining shimmering lagi na all things good. May mga part talaga din na mga negative. Pero at least, 'di ba, sa ating lubos na makakaya, we're very sincere na makapagbigay nung opportunities, no. And ang maganda kasi dito is not just us, no, may mga other blockchain networks din na ganyan din yung initiatives dito sa Pilipinas na
I
yun nga may mga pagkakataon din na talagang nagko-collaborate tayo regardless of what blockchain are you using. Mga tropa naman yung mga kasama natin sa mga ibang yung mga ibang blockchain networks din. So sobrang I hope nga sana na kahit wala namang pilit no na effort na kumbaga oy kung maging success kayo ganito gawin nyo at
Mhm.
least yung na-instill natin na napakita natin sa kanila ng way na we've done these efforts by the power of collaborations sana yun yung mag trigger talaga sa kanila na mag pay it forward. So
Oh,
yeah, we're really happy na yun din naman yung nangyayari ngayon. Kasi talaga
correct.
nagtutulong-tulungan yung mga nandito.
Okay. Now, can you tell us, especially itong mga audience, no, hanggang ngayon, medyo malabo pa rin sa kanila yung ibig sabihin ng blockchain. No? Especially, even programmers, many of the programmers or the graduating students who are into programming, still they don't know what blockchain is. And especially other people who are not really involved in programming, but they are involved in business, and they sometimes hear the word blockchain but totally no idea. Can you give us an idea in a very simple way? Ano ba ang blockchain at paano kami or everyone can really ride on this and deploy something and maximize that?
Yeah, sige, sige. So merong dalawang bagay, no? So sabihin na natin kung merong non-tech na definition na talagang para mas maintindihan natin as a consumer, and merong technical
Mm-hmm.
na definition na layman's term din naman para ma-consume naman ng mga dev na ma-relate nila dun sa kung anong current na alam nila, no?
Okay.
So unahin natin sa side ng consumer side, no? Ang blockchain is, imagine natin kung sa usapang pera, okay? Ito yung sabihin na natin parang InstaPay, okay? Kung si
Mm-hmm.
InstaPay is may 15 pesos o 8 pesos, depende kung anong ginagamit mo na network, na pag mag-send ka ng pera from one user to another, lagi may cut, di ba?
Yeah.
May gitna doon, which is si InstaPay. May mga time, di ba? May mga panahon, naka-down yun. May
Oh,
mga
yes.
time na na-send ko na, ba't hindi lumabas sa kabila? Di ba? Yung mga ganun. Na it will take 3 days to revert, no? Ang sistema dun sa ganung concept is yung gitna na yon is si blockchain na, at
Mm-hmm.
walang central authority na may control nun. Ang
Okay.
kagandahan is 24/7 ang operation niya. Borderless, ibig sabihin kahit sa mang sulok ng mundo ka, basta't may internet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Basta't may internet, kaya mo mag-send. And
Okay.
ang ultimate benefit is as a fraction of a centavo yung fee. Regardless of how big.
Yung pinadala mo.
yung pinadala mo.
Wow.
Ganon katindi yung advantage niya. So imagine you're from Qatar or Dubai, magpadala ka ng pera dito sa Pilipinas, magkano ang nagiging fees, 'di ba? So kapag sa blockchain ka dumaan, sentimo lang 'yan. And then 24/7, alam mo na kaagad na napadala. And yun nga, walang point of failure kasi kung at the event na mag-fail yung transaction, alam mo kaagad. And
Mhm.
nasa iyo pa rin yung pera mo. Ang
Okay.
isa lang na con, okay, ang
Mm.
isa lang na disadvantage is
Yes.
dahil nga decentralized siya, walang contact center na dito na, sir, namali ako ng send. Yung mga ganong klaseng bagay. O kaya, sir, eto masaklap. Sir, nahack ako. Walang
Okay.
ganong authority sa blockchain. Kasi
Mhm.
nga, peer-to-peer yan. Meaning, kayong mga nagtatransact lang yung sole responsible sa inyong transactions. Kung mamali ka ng send, free
Wala na
money
yun.
na yun. Wala tayong magagawa. Kahit umiyak pa tayo ng bato, kahit ako pa yung gumawa ng platform at namali ka ng send ng pera mo, wala akong magagawa kasi wala sa akin yung pera mo na mali ka ng send or na-hack ka, yun lang yung disadvantage. Pero yun nga, na meron naman ding proper education and seminars na mga pwede tayong matake para magkaroon tayo ng kaalaman on how to be safe dito sa space na to. Pero yun nga,
Mhm.
yun lang talaga yung medyo kumbaga pangil niya na sige, nabibigay sa atin yung authority, pabalik na tayo yung may-ari ng asset natin, pero that ownership comes with responsibility and accountability. Na at the event na pumalya, tayo, personal, hindi natin
Oo.
ginagaslight sarili natin. That's how the system works lang talaga. Na pag namali ka, then wala tayong magagawa. So, yun yung ano, yun yung masasabi natin sa non tech o sa
Technical.
consumer side. And
At
then,
saka,
sa tech
you,
side naman,
ah,
oo.
you
Sige, go
mentioned
ahead, sir, go.
na decentralized, di ba?
Mhm.
So, ibig sabihin,
Yes, yes.
dun sa cons na binanggit mo kanina na namali ka or nahack ka, hindi ka pwede magreklamo kahit kanino kasi no one is really handling the transaction, no?
Mhm.
At hindi rin ba sila pwedeng magsabi sa gobyerno? Kasi nga decentralized ito, right? Wala
Yes,
magagawa.
sir. The problem is, ayun nga, ultimo, at the event na, kung yung system ko yung gamit mo, pero namali ka nga ng send, wala din akong kakayahan na i-cater no yung pag-revert kasi nga walang revert sa usapang blockchain. Talagang pag nag-push through yung transaction, wala na tayong magagawa doon kasi immutable nga yung process no, yung recording sa blockchain. So, pero yun nga, it's subject still no na sa side naman ng yung kung itutuloy ko lang yung definition naman, kung this time sa side ng tech perspective, pwede nyo maturing si blockchain na para siyang it's still a database, okay? Pero may mga certain limits na kapag may pinrogram ka at wala namang functionality ng update na lines of code kang ginawa, then the transaction will always be finalized na
Okay.
wala ka nang magagawa. Yun yung nasabi ko kanina no na kung ako'y gumawa ng isang system at wala namang update functionality doon o tamper, wala na tayong magagawa kahit umiyak pa ako ng bato. Okay? So, it's a type of database na yon sa usapang technical, naka-open sa public, nakikita ng lahat yung laman, and then from this, yun nga, merong transparency, yung integrity ng data, at 24/7, yung transaction, malalaman natin kung tayo ay tech, mabilis natin malaman bayad na ba to o hindi. So
Mhm.
yung paniningil, yung kakayahan to cater transactions na at a fraction of a second malalaman mo kaagad kung success ba yung transaction or not. So tingin ko kung sa usapang e-commerce or mga yan, kung ano mga madalas na nagagawang applications na meron tayo sa cellphone, imaginein mo kung meron blockchain yon, meaning to say malaking masisave nila na cost kasi yung module ng wallet, yung module ng balance, pwedeng si blockchain na yung mag-cater nun and then gagamitin na lang nila. So yun yung ano no, yun yung definition na madaling ma-appreciate ng mga tech na kung wallet ang kailangan mo, eto na. So, ganon yan. And then, kung gusto mong maningil na malalaman mo kaagad kung success o hindi, eto na yung system for this. So, ganon ko siya na i-relay, no? Para
Oh,
ma-appreciate agad-agad.
okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, bro, no? Um, if you use this blockchain, you are not using money that is being produced by any state or any country, right? This is being, I mean, the one that you're using is a token coming from or produced by the blockchain itself. So meaning, like for example, if I have a dollar or if I have peso here, I cannot just use that immediately. I have to have specific token or currency or crypto, whatever how you call it, just correct me if I'm wrong, para makapag-transact to transfer that specific amount from my end to my friend's end. Am I correct?
Okay. Yeah, so in the very basic sense, sir, it's true, no, yung kung paano mo pagkakasabi. Pero yun nga, the main point, no, kung bakit nagkakaroon na ng value yung mga bagay-bagay yung mga tokens na yan dyan sa blockchain is somehow at some point, meron kasi yung mga counterparts nga pa rin sa real world, no? Well,
Hmm.
except for the Bitcoin na alam naman natin from nothing hanggang sa nagkaroon na ng mga bulto-bultong liquidity
Correct.
na kung saan yun nga, kung makita natin how the gold reserve works sa countries, ganun din naman tong mga to. Oh,
Hmm.
okay? So namely for example yung USDT, yung USDC, yung
Uh-huh.
mga yan, may mga actual US dollar counterpart yan, mga bonds, mga treasury bonds, and mga actual US dollars sa mga iba-ibang bangko na
Okay.
yun yung backing nila na 1:1 siya sa real life. Okay? And
Oh.
then dumating din yung panahon niyan na yung Bitcoin is from nothing, lumago ng lumago yung mga reserve na counterpart niya in real life. Let it be US dollar, let it be gold, kung
Hmm.
ano-ano man, no? Na may mga kanya-kanyang audit scheme yan na syempre sobrang komplikado na nun. Let's leave it to the professionals kung paano nila ino-audit yun. The
Hmm.
point is, etong mundong nandito na tayo ngayon, trillions of pesos na yung alam nilang may equivalency na nasa blockchain at nasa traditional infrastructures na let it be gold, let it be pera, na
Hmm.
kung ano-anong meron sa state. Ngayon, doon sa sinasabi mo na yung token, say for example, si USDT,
Hmm.
yun ba galing sa gobyerno? Okay? Ang sagot doon is, kaya meron ka ng USDT na to kasi nga may backing doon sa kung saan complex
Oh.
na ano man yung rason kung bakit siya may value is yun yung nangyayari na counterpart netong meron ka na token. Okay?
Mhm.
Kaya may value siya. So at the event na meron ka nito, merong mga iba't ibang companies at iba't ibang mga tao sa mundo na nag-a-agree at pine-perceive na ito yung value niyan. Kasi nga, dahil doon sa mga complex reserves na meron sila. So ngayon, dahil merong trillions of pesos na ganun yung nature na nasa blockchain, nagkakaroon ngayon ng trust na kapag meron ka ng specific tokens na to, say for example si Bitcoin, si Ethereum at yung iba pa, si ICP, si USDT, ibig sabihin, kahit hindi mo na intindihin yung mga nasa reserves nila,
Mhm.
dito ka na lang nag-iisip sa ecosystem na to kasi nga, you know na may value na to dito kasi same yung contract address,
Mhm.
same yung kung saan siya nanggaling, etc. Doon pwede ka na makagawa ng mga systems na kahit doon na lang na pwede kayong mag-send nga ng token from one person to another na iniisip mo, yun yung perceived value niya kasi nga may backing siya. Nagkakaroon lang ng difference na yun kapag ine-expect mo, sir, na what if gusto ko talaga magkaroon ng nung pera, nung
Hmm.
coin. Ito,
Yeah.
yung piso. 'Di ba? 20 pesos, ganun. Gusto ko magkaroon ng 1,000 piso. Paano ngayon yung daan mo? Yun nga, dadaan ka dun sa mga tinatawag na exchanges o yung
Hmm.
mga accredited ng BSP, mga may license na pwede silang magpalit. Parang kung paano yung sistema ng
Foreign exchange.
Forex,
Yeah.
merong ganong counterpart din pero crypto na. So,
Okay.
dun ka magpapapalit ngayon. So merong mga company ngayon dyan na yun nga, ang maganda is interconnected na rin naman sila sa ecosystem ng InstaPay na masisend mo na agad-agad.
Correct.
So, ganun yung ano niya, yung sistema niya na we don't need to worry anymore yung mga complex part kasi sina BSP na bahala dyan, sina SEC na. Pero the mere fact na may trillions of pesos na sa blockchain, yun yung reason kung bakit innovate na yung mga tao sa mga sulok ng mundo, no? It's a global stage na meron tayo ngayon na regardless of US pa yan, Philippines or what, borderless na yung transactions.
Yeah. So ibig sabihin, if let's say you have relatives in the other country and would like to send you any token, no, using the blockchain, so sinend niya dito sa Pilipinas, at na-receive niya yung token, and that token, let's say you can buy Starbucks coffee, something like that, because there are some companies already, just like you mentioned, who are also recognizing this cryptocurrencies or just coins. So, ibig sabihin, it could be leading into the future kung saan cashless. Wala nang, in the future, you don't need the physical money just to avail services and do transactions. Tama ba? Am I
Sir,
correct?
oo, eto siya, no? Nakita natin nung panahon ng COVID, nahinog tayo ng pilit. 'Di ba na ngayon, ako personally talaga, no, yung kaperahan ko nasa GCash, nasa ano na lang, nasa mga e-wallets
Mhm.
na kung saan nag-i-scan na lang tayo ng QR code
Correct,
na
correct.
kahit wala tayong cash and then kapag yung tindahan hindi pala nag-a-accept ng GCash, bakit hindi? Di ba? Ganun na yung reaction natin, no? Ngayon,
Correct.
kung makita na yung malamang na natural progression nung technology, somehow at some point, hindi na tayo magtataka na mag-iiba na lang yung wallet na gamit natin, pero crypto na yun nandun. And then, tinatanggap na rin nila. Darating yung panahon na yun na ganun. Kasi nga, kung naggagawa na yun nung mga e-wallets ngayon na same mindset, what's stopping us from switching wallets, 'di ba? Namura yung fees. Pero yeah, that's another long-term stories to come na.
Mhm. Now, when it comes to security, sir, kasi yun yung isa sa mga parang concern ng maraming tao, no? Uh, because there are lots of histories na nangyari in the past that nawala bigla yung mga laman nila and mabilis i-hack kasi this is digital. Pero many, even you mentioned earlier that the security, the transparency ng blockchain ay ibang-iba kaysa sa mga traditional way of transaction na mas secure dito. Can you give us an idea paano naging mas secure yan? Samantalang digital din yan. So, and you mentioned earlier as well na pwedeng ma-hack. So, paano yun? How are we become so secure with this technology?
Sige. So, sir, no, if I'll wear my other hat, no, as a cybersecurity researcher naman. So,
Okay.
may mga ilan din kasi akong stint na cybersecurity related na ako'y nakapag-report ng mga vulnerabilities, no.
Hmm.
So, diyan sa part na yan, we need to actually understand, no, na there is no perfect system na talagang hindi exploitable, no? So, there's no 100% secured na system. And yung mga sinasabi nating hacks na yan, yung minsan nawawala, nabibigla na wala na yung balance, yung tipong nanakaw yung laman o kaya talagang nag-glitch lang. This is still true pa rin naman sa current systems na meron tayo, 'di ba? May
Yes.
blockchain o wala, problema na 'yan, okay?
Hmm.
Pero ang kaibahan na ibibigay sa atin nga ng blockchain, no, na kalayaan per se is yung the power to interrupt or the power to freeze yung assets mo is something na hindi na kailanman mangyayari. Bakit? Kung
Hmm.
meron kang Bitcoin, kung meron kang Ethereum, yung mga yan na assets is walang may kakayahang magsabi na, huy, hindi mo pwede gastusin yan. Walang may taong kayang magsabi sa nun o walang gobyernong kaya magsabi sa na hindi mo pwedeng galawin yan. Okay?
Okay.
So yung the freedom of truly owning your asset is nasa iyo na. Ngayon, paano siya nangyayari sa side ng technicals, no? Sa normal natin ngayon na e-wallets, meron tayong yung mobile number, yung password natin. So technically may account tayo sa kanila. Yun yung ina-access natin para maka-log in doon sa wallet. And then from that, pag-transact tayo. At the event na, well, wala naman dapat katakutan yung mga normal na tao, no? Not unless nadali sila ng AMLA o yung tinatawag nating anti-money laundering, di ba, na cancel, na pag na red flag sila, which is it's super rare to happen, di ba?
Yeah.
Na ma-freeze yung account nila. Okay? Nangyayari yun sa ibang tao pero kung tayo yung mga mga normal, wala naman tayong problema doon. Pero that's the ultimate dilemma, no, na sinusolve, na kung saan at the event na may pagkakataong baka ma-freeze yung account mo, sa side ng blockchain, walang ibang makakapagsabi nun. Okay? Kundi ikaw lang. Ano yung mga parameters? Kasi ito yan. Sa side naman ng blockchain na wallet, yung susi mo na private, ikaw lang yung may kopya nun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bunch of words na parang naka-private key yung tawag, no?
Okay.
Na ito yan, mape-freeze lang yan the moment na mawala mo yung words, mawala mo yung mismong susi mo.
Okay.
Okay? Hindi mo na magagalaw. Hindi na magagalaw ng kahit sinong tao yung pera doon sa wallet mo. Kahit
So,
sabihin mong sayo yan, hanggat hindi mo na sususian yan, hindi sayo yan.
like
Wala kang access dyan.
like a
So yun,
password.
yun yung kaibahan. Yes, yes. At yun nga, yung password na yun is walang ibang may kopya kundi ikaw. Pag nawala mo yon, wala na yung pera mo. Ganon yung difference niya na yun nga at the event na pag may nahack, 'di ba? Same scenario na dito pwedeng manlaban ka pa, pwedeng
Dami.
revert yung transaction. Pero dito sa blockchain is wala na talagang pag-asa yon pag nakuha na. So, ganon yung sistema po niya.
I see. Okay. Now, when it comes to this, probably this could be a last. No, sorry, ang daming kong tanong, no? Kasi it's because blockchain is one of the things that kept me, ano rin, no? Parang excited pagdating sa technology, especially sa Web3. Now, dumadami ang mga nagde-deploy sa blockchain, sa Web3, no? And ibig sabihin nito, probably per company who is deploying on the blockchain, they could produce their own coin and their own crypto. Hindi kaya in the future, what will happen is we have bunch of coins and other, sorry for the word, but they name it as shit coins, na kasi wala ng value, sobrang dami, at ginagamit na lang yon for something na they want to start something and then they want to hype it para kumita, lumaki, pero in reality wala naman talagang value yung coins. And kapag bumaba na, ibebenta nila ng marami, tapos ang gagawin nila, magbubuo uli ng panibago and then another story. Do you think that would happen? And if that happened, how to prevent that?
Sir, ito yan, no? So, buti pa nga sa side mo, sa pagkakasabi mo is ina-anticipate mo lang. Pero actually, and
Happy na.
unfortunately, nangyayari na yan. Nung
Okay.
panahon ng sir, nung panahon nung na-onboard ako sa crypto, yun yung era ng tinatawag nating ICOs, yung mga initial coin offerings, okay? It's basically like money from nothing na parang eto yung coin namin, eto yung value niyan, bili kayo niyan, mag-10x yan. Ganun yung bubble that time na yun nga, ang daming mga nag-CCOO na turns out mga nadali ng Ponzi, nadami
Correct.
ng pyramid, tinatsulok-tatsulok lang pala yung mga tao, no? And then come this yung tinatawag nating DeFi era, no? Yung naging progression since ICO kasi may mga kaibahan to, sir, no? Nung ICO kasi, kung ikaw loko-lokong kumpanya, ikaw ang nagde-define ng sarili mong value na parang, o sige, bilhin mo ng piso to. Pag nilaunch namin, 10 piso yan. Pero what's the basis? Okay? What's the anong reserve nga yung tinatawag natin? O yung mga backing niyan. So, nag-e-evolve yun, sir. Okay? So, dito sa ICO, wala. Pangako, laway. Yun yung una, 2016 yan, ganyan yung sistema. Well, way before pa, no, 2013 hanggang 2016, ganyan yung yung sistema. Nagkaroon ng sistema ng smart contracts. Okay? So, dun sa smart contracts, may mga standards na nagawa. So, nandyan na yan, yung reason bakit may ERC-20, yung reason bakit may liquidity. Ito yung magic word dyan. Kasi, the moment na lumabas yun, nagsimula yung tinatawag nating DeFi o yung decentralized finance. Kasi nga, inasabi natin kanina, merong mga tokens na kahit hindi na natin intindihin yung backing, yung complex sides na yung traditional side ng bahala, etong token na to is may value. Yun yung parang naging starting point ng lahat ng iba, okay, ng mga smart contract. Na anong nangyari is ganito na. Nagkaroon na ng dalawang salok na tinatawag nating liquidity pool. Okay? So ito yung second progression. Yung liquidity pool is meron laging percentage nung alam lang lahat na may value at ito yung bagong token mo na gusto mong i-launch. Okay? The problem is ganito. Okay? Yung tinatawag nating tokenomics o yung madalas na kung nakikita natin yung mga lumalagapak pababa, ang tawag ko doon, sorry sa word, Ponzinomics. Okay? Kasi yung token na totality ng 100%, napakadami ng nabenta. Okay? So sabihin na natin more or less 50, 70, 90% nabenta. Pero yung liquidity, yung backing, kakarampot. Minsan less than 10% pa. So imagine, syempre, common sense. 90% nung token is nasa public. Okay? Nasa mga tao, nasa mga investor, kung sino man tao. 10% yung may value na nasa liquidity. Lahat to nagsibenta. Ano mangyayari, sir? Mauubos yung salok. Oh, imagine mo, 2 tubig to, sinubukan mo ilagay dito sa kabila. Na-overwhelm, pero yung laman dito na nagbibigay ng value na ubos. So in short, mathematically speaking, lumagapak yung presyo. Ganon yung madalas na nangyari na. Okay? Ngayon, eto. Sir, yung sinasabi mo na sa sandamukal na shitcoin at saka mga meme coin. Sorry sa word po. May nangyari ng ganyan na ang ginawa is, sige, kasi para maiwasan yung ganon na logic na kakarampot yung liquidity tapos ang daming nabenta, nagkaroon ngayon ng automated token generation. Ang nakalagay na sistema is hindi lang sa liquidity, okay? Ganito nang ginawa nila. Sir, kung titingnan mo to, yung word na to is yung si pump.fun, okay? Yun yung word. Pero ang sistema niya is ganito, in layman's term. Gusto mo mag-launch ng token, okay? Magpupunta ka nila doon sa website, kiklik mo yung create token, lagay ka ng picture, lagay ka ng pangalan, lagay ka ng description, anong website mo, and then bibigyan ka niya ng option. Ito sir ang pinakamahalaga nangyari dyan. Bibigyan ka niya ng option, gusto mo ba initially na mag-mint ng sayo? Yung allocation mo, kasi di ba, let's imagine always yung token is piece of pie.
Correct.
Gusto mo bang magkaroon ng porsyento? Okay? Ngayon, para maiwasan yung ganon na logic na lagapak, ang ginawa na ngayon nung pump.fun is magkaroon nung kahit ikaw may-ari, responsibilidad mong bumili nung parte.
The history of the internet computer really dates back to the mid-1990s when I began working on distributed systems. By the dot-com era, I was also working with cryptography and trying to create what would have been one of the world's first cloud services. 2013, I got into Bitcoin, and by the end of the year, I decided I wanted to create a virtual currency for the games industry. I circulated a paper in October 2014 repurposing traditional Byzantine fault-tolerant consensus math. I got involved with the early Ethereum community, and I'd seen how blockchain could do much more than just cryptocurrency, and you could in fact use a blockchain to host code and data and computation. At some point I'd heard the phrase world computer. To me, world computer, it meant an extension of the internet that you could use to build almost any system and service using smart contracts. I renamed the project Definity, which is a shortening of decentralized infinity, and began working towards this new goal of creating a world computer. The DFINITY Foundation was created in October 2016, and then it ran a big public ICO in February 2017. That enabled us rapidly to expand the DFINITY R&D team. By the end of that year, we were running the biggest R&D operation in blockchain. The people we have at DFINITY are just the most incredible bunch of hardworking, visionary, talented people that you could ever imagine. And I'm grateful every single day that I come to work. When the Internet Computer mainnet finally launched, it was pretty wild. As an organization, we're primarily staffed by R&D folks, as is the nature of the project even now. Meanwhile, while all this wildness was going on, we had to contribute to the network to keep it up and running. The Internet Computers managed to run the last 2 years without any downtime. There's been so many improvements that have been added to the Internet Computer in the last 2 years. There are almost too many to mention. Just recently, something called Chainkey Bitcoin went live. Internet Computer nodes actually talk to Bitcoin nodes. That enables smart contracts on the Internet Computer to directly process Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain without need for bridges. The next step is to integrate with Ethereum, which will allow smart contracts on the Internet Computer to process any asset on the Ethereum blockchain and call into Ethereum smart contracts. And that's a big deal, because Internet Computer smart contracts can serve user experiences by processing HTTP. And that's a very unique capability. By integrating the Internet Computer and Ethereum networks, we'll be giving that unique capability to Ethereum smart contracts too. So one of the very cool things about the Internet Computer, it's the world's first adaptive blockchain. And that means that it runs under the control of a decentralized governance system, and you can submit proposals to this governance system that change the structure of the network or run protocol upgrades, and they'll be executed completely automatically. This differs from traditional blockchains, which are upgraded through a process known as hard forking. Through this governance system, the Internet Computer has already been upgraded 145 times in the 2 years since mainnet has been running. The Internet Computer is designed to be a world computer and host things like social networks and enterprise systems on the blockchain itself. And to do that, it has to be unbounded. It has to be able to scale without limit, host any amount of data, any amount of computation, and do so very efficiently. I think one of the big surprises of the Internet Computer is that eventually, not only can blockchain act as a crypto cloud that replaces centralized tech, but that crypto cloud can actually be more efficient than centralized tech in the end. And of course, being green and reducing the emissions of technology worldwide is a key objective. The Internet Computer has very fast growing and vibrant community of developers building. We've seen just about every kind of Web3 service imaginable, and now we're increasingly seeing enterprises experimenting with building tamper-proof and unstoppable systems on the Internet Computer that run without the need for a firewall or security team. 2 years on from launch, we really are well and truly on the road to realizing this vision of a blockchain singularity, where almost everything one day will be built on the blockchain, and the blockchain will play the role of a world computer that's the everything stack that will eventually eat centralized technology.
Okay? So
Oh,
ngayon, yung piece of pie na nakuha mo initially, may value yon na binigay mo. Okay? Ngayon, o sige, pumayag ka. Nagkaroon ka ng piece of pie. Nilaunch mo ngayon yung token. O ngayon, syempre, andyan na yung marketing, usual, yung mga pa-hype, mga
Right.
paingay. Ngayon, ano nangyayari? Yung mga tao, bumibili ngayon nung token. Okay?
Right.
Pero yun nga, this is all about, kung unlike nung yung sa ICO na nangako lang, ito is purely smart contract. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, alam nila yung mga nangyayari na the moment na bumili ka ng maaga and then ganyan, pataas ng pataas yung presyo na ikaw nakabili ka sa murang halaga. So, ang tawag na sa logic na to is fair lunch, no? Meaning to
Okay.
say, launch mo fairly yung token, pero nga, ikaw as may-ari, bumili ka rin ng portion mo. So, sa mata ng smart contract, sa mata ng blockchain, it's fairly launched.
Correct.
Okay? Walang luto. Walang pangako sa likod. Okay? So, yun yung logic niya. Ngayon, anong nangyari? Kapag na-hit nila yung certain threshold, okay? Gagraduate yun. Pupunta yun sa liquidity pool. Magiging publicly traded na siya.
Oh,
Ngayon, sir,
okay.
ang problema. Ang problema. Doon sa side na yon, yung capability mong kahit sino kaya mag-create, nangyari na yung worry mo. Na every second, every minute, every hour, ang daming sandamukal na tokens na na-generate na yun nga, meron tayong mga statistics na nagpakita nung review niyan, no, na 95% of the meme coins launched dun sa platform na yun, lahat
Wow.
bugs. Lahat wala ng activity. Mas madaming mga napaldon o yung nagtudahil compare sa mga napaldo na kakarampot lang. So, nangyari na yung worry mo na sobrang dami na kasi nga napakadali na lang gumawa ng token ngayon. So yeah, yun yung sagot ko dun, sir.
Okay. So at least no, malinaw sa mga viewers sa amin na there's positive side and there's negative side. But the thing here is that when you are going to deploy an application on top of the ICT technology, you're not only talking about cryptocurrency, you're also talking about a service that you could parang give to the public and with value, and by that you could earn money because that's a startup company, right? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, and
So, ito lang din, sir, no. Siguro maisingit ko lang, no. Kasi ito yung madalas talaga nasa yung signature talk ko na why you should care about Web3, no? Yun nga, kasi coming from a gamer perspective and naging may-ari ng laro, and then from that naging entrepreneur. Yung talagang progression ko is yung hugot ko as yung parang wala pang online seller that time. Ang dilemma ko na paano maningil online? Paano tayo magkakaroon ng transaction na convenient, no? Na ito na nga, yung Web3, it allows us to create business models na hindi kaya dati.
okay,
And Web3 allows us to talagang transact, no, borderless and seamless. And then from that, yung mga pangarap dati na yun nga dun sa hugot na sana may paraang madali na maningil, sana may paraang mas mura na makapag-send sa akin ng ng kayamanan, okay? Lahat ng to pangarap lang dati ng mga entrepreneurs na nandito na. And you can create an application on top of it na syempre mas much better na isipin natin na more on use case kaysa dun sa presyo. Kasi ngayon talaga pera-pera yung majority na nangyayari. Na yun, kung saan nga, hopefully, ito yung mga nagagawa nating initiatives is nakapag-spark talaga ng interest doon sa mga aspiring business owners to actually create a sustainable business model, no? Na kung saan yun, gamit yung technology na to. So yeah, ganap.
wow, really really nice, sir. Thank you so much, sir, sa i-share ninyo. I believe na sobrang we learn from what you shared, and we want more in the future na. So kung may part 2 pa tayo, I would really be glad to invite you as well for the next session. At least you could share more and more to our viewers. And for those viewers who would like to ask questions, all you have to do is just comment down below your questions. Probably me or si Eliezer could answer that questions kapag ka available siya. So even me as well, I could answer that. Thank you again so much. And if anything that you would like to tell, a brief thing to our viewers before we end.
Okay, so siguro guys, no, kung ayun nga, kung meron kayong mga katanungan or kung gusto niyo i-follow, shameless plug na lang, okay? So you can follow my socials at Ganap with Ellie. Okay,
Yeah.
so marami tayong mga ganap na let it be online and in real life. Specifically dito sa amin sa uh, Region 3. So shoutout sa aking team sa Web3 Bulacan at sa DV Code. And syempre sa mga tropa sa ICP Hub Philippines. So yeah, yun lang ang akin guys. Maraming salamat Sir Florence.
Thank
Ganap!
you. Thank you, Ganap. Thank you, sir. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you so much.